I'm Scott with Injustice Investigations. We are getting ready for the trial in Minneapolis. And the system, the system, our justice system, the prosecutor, and the powers that be are doing everything they can to make sure that this white officer does not do any jail time for the killing of George Floyd. We saw the killing of George Floyd live. And for years, prosecutors throughout this country, along with police officers, have been saying one thing: the video don't lie. When you bring a video into the courtroom as evidence that a crime was committed, well, that defendant might lie. Their attorney might lie for them. But according to the prosecutors, police departments, common sense, the video don't lie. The prosecutors are trying to use George Floyd had some health issues going on, and he also had drugs in his system. That's what killed him. No, that's not what killed him. What killed him was a white officer's knee on his neck. That's what killed him. Either way it goes, there's going to be an upset. What's justice for some is injustice for others. It is extremely hard to get a cop arrested on a homicide charge. And if you think that's hard to do, it's even harder to get them convicted in a courtroom. That officer can walk in full uniform. That officer can walk in a prison uniform. The jury and the judge and the powers that be see that officer as our lifeline on planet Earth. One of the good guys, one of the good girls. They can do no wrong. Many black people are in the grave today because of two words from police officers. I thought. I thought. I thought. Again, it's difficult to get a conviction against a police officer. The shenanigans are already started. There were over, I think, 26 million people that joined the protest of George Floyd's killing. But it wasn't just the killing of George Floyd that had not the United States, but had the whole wide world pissed. The killing of George Floyd took all of us back, and we got tired. We got tired. It's an ongoing thing. The system is not trying to change. You've heard me say this before, and I say it until the day I die. The issue with cops killing blacks cannot be fixed at the academy. We're dealing with the battlefield of an officer's mind. Officers say they fear black people. I don't know why you become a cop and you scary. White cops don't fear black people. They didn't fear us when they was whipping our ass during slavery, and when they was hanging us up on a cross, burning us alive. What is it you fear about black people? Nothing. It's a game they play, and a subliminal message They're trying to dehumanize us. They fear us because we're animals, we're beasts, we're out of control. We're three-fifths of a human. Breonna Taylor, when the family took the 12 million, messed the conviction up. We gave them 12 million. Now we are not going to send a white officer to trial and we just gave that black family 12 million. Case closed. That's the way they look at it. People all over the world got to looking back at what we've been through. They looked at the Michael Brown case. Rodney King. Nothing has changed with the system. Even during the George Floyd protests, blacks were still being harassed, arrested, beaten, and killed by officers in the United States. An officer that kills a black person is considered a hero, especially if the black individual that they killed was unarmed. Well, let's look at Jacob Blake, a black brother, unarmed, shot 7 times in the back by a white officer. I don't know how you get justifiable homicide out of that. I get homicide. I can't attach I can't even get the whole word to go in front of homicide. The law states that one can only use the amount of force being used against them. Now, when I'm leaving you, I'm of no threat to you. An officer can justify 1 bullet, maybe 2, but anything after that is questionable. We have to remember that the system that we're dealing with today, this day, March the 9th, 2021, is the same system that Emmett Till had to deal with. The only thing has changed their names and their faces. That's it. But it's the same system. We're dealing with the same system that told a white police officer in Dallas, Texas, we're going to give you 10 years, not because we want to, but because of publicity, for killing an unarmed black man in his own home while he was sitting down eating a bowl of ice cream. We still don't know, or at least I don't know, how in the hell the white woman got in. I stuck my key in there. Mind you, her key don't fit that lock. Well, no, the door was ajar. Mind you, that doesn't work. Springs on it. They're going to close. Everything is against us right now. Everything. Do I look for the officer to be convicted? Let me say this. I want the officer convicted. That's what I want. Will I get it? We have to wait and see. But any excuse that is laid on the table that is meant to justify the killing of George Floyd is an inexcusable excuse. He was asked repeatedly by the people, take your knee, remove your knee, take your knee, remove. No, he's okay, he's fine. 28 times, George Floyd begs, I just want to breathe. I just want to breathe. Keep in mind that they were responding to a nonviolent call. A black man is in a store trying to pass a counterfeit 20. Now watch this. I don't know if he did it or not. But let's say, hypothetically, he was trying to give them that counterfeit 20. Can we prove that he knew the $20 bill was counterfeit? No, we cannot. Even if we can prove, yeah, he knew, and he was purposely trying to pass that off as a real bill. Okay? That's still what? That's a nonviolent crime. Nothing constitutes death. Nothing. Nothing. Each time a white officer in this country gets away with killing an unarmed black person, that leaves the door open for other officers to do the exact same thing. And the system immediately do a criminal background check on the victim and bring it to the public. Why? But you don't do a background check on the officer and show us his disciplinary history within the system. You don't do that. I guess killing an unarmed black person is not good enough. Let's try to shame them too. The officer that deliberately killed George Floyd is guilty. There is no defense for absolute wrong. There is no defense for absolute wrong. But we're dealing with a system that cares, when it comes to officers, cares more about justice than convicting. If he had just obeyed, he should have just obeyed. He should have put his hand behind his back. Well, his hands was behind his back, and he was on the ground. He was of no threat to no one. He was handcuffed from the back on the ground. Where was he going? As long as officers face no consequences for their intentional homicides, they will continue. That's why I stand in 100% agreement with defunding the police department. Well, I don't know what we want to do. We're left with no choice. There's nothing else we can do. We're going to cover this trial, and we're going to tell you what others won't tell you. I think it's ridiculous, I think it's appalling, and I think it's disrespectful to the family for officers who have killed an unarmed individual to be placed on paid administrative leave. They're getting a check for doing nothing. Another issue that must be addressed. Quickly, T.I. and Tiny. I spoke with my sister Yvette Archie today about this. and I think it must have been an hour-long conversation. If there's not a story, people will make a story. I'm not saying they're innocent. I'm not saying they're guilty. I'm just trying to lay something on the table. I don't know why, if someone puts a gun in your face, hold you hostage for several hours, several days, you still go back to hang out with them. You still go back to have sex with them. I don't understand it. Doesn't make any earthly sense to me. I cannot understand when allegations like this come out on celebrities, public figures. The majority of the accusers don't go to the police because they don't want the individual arrested. They want money. They want money. The statute of limitations on issues such as this is entirely too long. It's entirely too long. But be it true, be it not, when you get that first call, a van load, of people will come and say, they did me too. They did me too. You even got me. They did me too. The brother, Governor Como, one of the best governors I've seen in a long time, besides Governor John Bel Edwards in Louisiana. Sometimes we can say things that may be inappropriate or seem inappropriate, but no harm intended. Me, I call all women gorgeous. I do. Black, white, young, and old. Hey, gorgeous. Sometimes I'm telling the truth. Sometimes I'm lying. But even that remark can be considered sexual harassment on a job. His family, they're used to greeting people, hugs, and a kiss, and a kiss, and a kiss. That can be seen as sexual harassment. I don't know if he's guilty or innocent. He has admitted to doing some things that wasn't an act of outright sexual harassment. It's the way someone perceives it. Position determines perspective. What you see depends upon where you're standing. I want you to be mindful that Donald Trump hates that governor. One of the few governors in the United States that stands up to him. The powers that be, I can pay you to say he did this to you, and you will do it. I've looked at your financial situation. You are $67,000 in debt, and they're about to foreclose on your home and pick up both of your cars. And your husband hasn't worked in months because of a back injury, and you're going to lose everything. You get my point. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he's innocent. But most people will believe a lie before they believe the truth. I don't understand some women when they say, I came out today. Excuse me, I'm so emotional. Wait, hold up. I wasn't gonna do this. I'm okay. I can do it. I'm okay, thank you. Oh, thank you. The power of God. I came out today because I don't want any other female to have to go through what I've been through. All my life has been a living hell. All the last 26 years has been just horrible. Today, you don't want other girls, women, to go through what you went through. But 26 years ago, you didn't give a damn. But today you do. Stop believing everything you hear, time you hear it. Stop being super stupid saying, girl, look what he did. Girl, look what it's alleged he did. There are not any victims until a court says they're victims. Until then, alleged victims. R. Kelly, alleged victims. Stop testifying to what might be a damn lie. Whether T.I. and Tiny guilty or innocent, one thing I can say about T.I., the brother has much respect for me, because when it comes to issues in this country, he's always on the front line. And we can't take that from him. We can't take that from him. But sometimes the powers that be, which are mighty and strong, do what they want to do. And those that are weak, without such power, sometimes have to accept what they don't want to accept. This Me Too movement has went wrong, has went left. Statute of limitations must decrease. Bill Cosby, one of the accusers. Miss Linda, what did the pastor preach about last Sunday? Baby, you know I can't remember. I know Uncle Skid though had me hollering. I can't remember. Okay. But Miss Linda can remember the dress she had on in 1942 when she went out with Bill Cosby. She can remember the white pill when she went out with Bill Cosby. She can remember the color of the bra and panty set that she had on and how well it clinged to her butt. But she can't remember what the pastor preached last Sunday. Well, everybody in line respects everybody talking about the white pill. Do you know how many people in the world have heard the story about the little white pill? Just as many that have heard the story about the little engine that could. Police department. Yes, I too was a victim of Bill. I can't even get his last name out. I don't want to say it. Yes, him. Ooh, yes. The white pill. I took it too. Listen, that's comical, right? But it's also painful. Emmett Till was kidnapped and tortured and killed on a lie. A few years back, the white woman raises her hand. I lied. I don't know why she's not in jail. I don't care if she have an hour to live. Her ass need to be inside of a jail cell. In my opinion, I wish she'd have taken it to the grave and not said a damn thing. I'm bringing all this up to show you the system that we're still dealing with. I'm bringing this up to show you that in 2021, blacks are still not seen as humans. Blacks are still not respected. Blacks are still being racially profiled by the police. Blacks still receive police brutality from the police. Blacks are still killed at an alarming rate by the police more than any other race in the United States. And most of these killings are unarmed victims. And most of the shooters never see the inside of a jail cell. Not to mention, they were never charged. The system that once used the words legal and lynching in the same sentence, surprise, surprise, that's the same system we're dealing with today. George Floyd, he begged to live. He begged to live. A help that he knew would come regardless of rain, sleet, or snow. He called Mama! He called Mama. Called unto his mama. Mama, come from the grave. Mama, I need you, Mama. They're killing me. Called for his mama. People got pissed. Black people, white people, Asian people got pissed. Even racist white folks, some got pissed when they saw that video. You cannot justify that. I wouldn't be a defense attorney that would take that case. I wouldn't. I'm not going to do that. Because there is no justification for outright murder. We must not be quiet. We must follow the trial. Take notes like I do. Be prepared for the verdict that you don't want to hear. Because it's very well possible you will hear that verdict. If police officers, prosecutors, and the courts would do their job, things like this would have decreased by now. If officers were held accountable for their actions, things like this would have decreased a very long time ago. And I want you to remember this before we get out of here. I have 2 minutes. Your protesting is okay, but just keep this thought in mind. Emotions don't change laws. Sitting at the table, having conversation, change laws. Laws that protect killer, crooked, racist, diabolical cops must be addressed in this country. Emotions don't change things. It gets some attention now, but it doesn't change things. If our emotions had the ability to change the system, we'd have been better off a long time ago. And remember this, in any protest concerning the officer killing of an unarmed black person, black people are I'm not Scott with Injustice Investigations. Remember, I am not always right, and you